Hey, Facebook. Oh my gosh. It's late, I know, but guess what? School is closed. No school tomorrow. So Andres is up all night wilding out on my computer, so I can't get to my computer to do my work. This child broke his computer. I don't know why, but in some fit of rage, he banged the screen and now the screen is messed up. So I have to figure out how I'm going to get it fixed, or I don't know what he's going to do. He has to learn to manage that anger. But anyhow, this live tonight is about 3 things never to say. And I didn't write them down because I never say them. Or if I do, people hold me accountable like, why'd you say that? So let's start with 3 things that you never say, especially if you're on a spiritual journey or a journey to put more abundance in your life. The number 1 thing you don't say is, I hope. And write them down. You never say, I hope for anything, because that kind of energy denotes that you feel that you're never going to get it. So, hope. I don't know how it's discussed biblically, but energetically, hope communicates the energy of, I'm never going to get this thing. I hope I get this job. I hope this happens. I hope I win the lotto. I hope. That kind of energy really does not, hey cousin, I know you miss me. You miss me? I know you miss me. I'm coming to see you soon. So anyway, never say I hope, because when you say you hope, that thing ain't never coming. So if you want something to come fast in your life, never say, I hope this is going to happen. I hope these people act right on the job. They ain't going to act right. Just because you hoping they will, they're not going to act right. Hope communicates the wrong energy. So if you want to put good things in your life, more abundance, more money, don't say, I hope, because that is like a huge energetic cancellation. That's all also along the lines of, I wish this will happen. I wish this will be the case. That energy right there of wishing and hoping communicates the wrong energy in the atmosphere. It does not align with the thing that you want unless you want more hoping and wishing. So don't ever say, I hope this is going to happen, or I wish this is going to happen, because chances are, people who are wishing, that they believe in magic and luck. I wish upon a star. I wish this, if you really want to make some changes in your life, don't say I hope and don't say I wish for anything, because you need to become the thing that you want energetically. So in order to get the thing that you want, you have to align with that. So if you want more money, you don't say, I wish I had more money. You have to say, I'm abundant. I have abundance. We print more money. The United States print more money on a daily basis. Like those little slips of paper and those little coins. We print so much of that. There's an abundance of money. I mean, you don't have it because you're sitting around hoping and wishing for it. And that's not the way to go. I'm just helping you with that. So the other thing, hey, Ange, the other thing, I guess the last thing that, I would say not to ever say if you want to attract the better things in your life is never say, I can't. Like, I can't do this. I'm guilty of doing that all the time. And that's mostly because sometimes I tend to be lazy. I'm like, I can't do that right now. I can't do it. That's just really your resistance. That's really your comfort zone. Like, you're in your comfort zone and you don't want to come out of it. But guess what? There's no growth in the comfort zone. There's no kind of nothing happens in the comfort zone, but the same thing that happened yesterday. So a lot of people they're working to be comfortable. I'm working very hard to be uncomfortable, because one thing that I have learned is that growth only happens when you're uncomfortable. When you put yourself into uncomfortable situations, hey sis, when you put yourself in situations where you have to give more of yourself, where you have to challenge yourself, to put yourself out there, to show the world who you are and what you can do, that kind of stuff is when you grow and develop confidence, develop people skills, develop interpersonal skills. Hey, Maria, when you want to develop those skills, you have to put yourself out there more. And that's very uncomfortable, because a lot of people think that I'm an extrovert, but I am really, really and truly an introvert. I am much more comfortable sitting behind my computer crunching numbers or teaching online. I don't even want to be in the classroom. I am so comfortable just being in my jammies. See my jammies? I have my jammies on, and this is how I live my life. Online is like the best thing that ever happened to my life, because I can live a full life online. All my friends are online. My students are online. My clients are online. My shopping is online. Everything that I'm doing in my life is online. So it's very geared to an introvert. But guess what? That's not what God wants me to do with my life. God wants me to share more of who I am and what I'm doing and put myself out there, because it's uncomfortable, and that's where the growth is when you're uncomfortable. That is where the growth is. So let's review the 3 things we're not going to say anymore if we want to do some magical, magical or fantastic things in our life. Never say, I hope. That communicates the wrong energy. You hope something's going to happen. That's the energy of I don't have and I'm never going to have. Okay. I wish. It's along the same lines. I wish I had this. That just really denotes needy or I need. I wish I had that. I need that. Needy equals creepy. In the energetic realm, when you say you need something, that's sending the energy of you're creepy, because you need something outside of yourself to make you feel like yourself. No, I need something is really creepy. Imagine if someone came to you like in an intimate relationship and they're like, I need you. Like, you'd be real creeped out by someone like, I really need you. Like, that is really creepy. I need you is creepy. Don't anybody say that to me. Nobody better need me. And you better not need anything outside of yourself, because everything that you need, God has put inside of you. Your job is to get quiet and go within yourself. And one of the ways you end up going within yourself is by life getting hard. When you go through some hard stuff and you look around to the left, to the right, and ain't nobody there for you, you're going to have no choice but to say, self, what in the H is going on here? Let me go inside myself and see what I need and what's inside of me that I can bring out to support me in what I'm doing. Hey, cousin. Hey, Jeremiah, how you doing? So needy is creepy. Okay. Let's not do that. And I want, or I wish, that's also communicating the wrong energy to the atmosphere, because you should not want anything, because everything that you need, God has put inside of you. So one of the things that I do, I'm going to share with you. I spend a lot of time, I'm an educator, I guess, but I'm a number one educator of myself. So I teach myself and I learn and I watch, I don't know, whatever, binge watch things all over the place. I read a lot. I have so many books, but I have like a collection of things here and I wanted to share it with you. One of the things that I do is I have a bunch of journals. Anything that I'm doing, I have a book for it. See, this one says, do what you love. And I know it's backwards. And what I do is I dedicate each of my books to something. Like this one. Okay, this is my journal. That's the dedication. It says, this is my dream journal. This journal is dedicated to me and God. God within me will guide me to the vision of my most awesome dream, my purpose here on earth. This dream journal will represent to the best of my ability everything that I have inside of me that will help me accomplish my wildest dreams. So I have a dedication in this book. This is my dream book. So things that I dream about, not wishing and hoping, things that I want to see happen in my life, I write it in this book. So this book is dedicated to my dreams. This one here, it says, create your own magic. So instead of wanting someone to do something for you in your life, you create it yourself, because we're creative beings. You know, God created us to create. And so this book is all the stuff that I want to create. I write it down in this book. So that's what that's dedicated to. And some of my books are prettier than others. This one here, it has a lot of sparkles. I don't know if you can see it. I got this in Rite Aid, but it was cute. It had sparkles. And this one is dedicated to the work that I'm doing with one of my coaches. And so I like I don't know if you can see it shining, but it's really shiny. So the work that I do with one of my coach, I put that in this book. Okay, let's see. This book here are my thoughts. Now, if y'all want to get in my head, please don't, because sometimes it's a scary place. So I put my thoughts in this book. So I have the dedication in this book. And actually, this book was the book that I used in Bali. And I said, I put my intention in the cover, and it says, my intention is to be open to the process of, I can't even read my handwriting, of bringing my book series to fruition. So everything that I do has an intention, and I dedicate a book to it. Okay, this book is called Awesomeness. I got it for 50 cents in Staples or something like that. So this book is dedicated to the work that I'm doing with my enlightenment circle. So, it's called Awesomeness because my circle is very awesome. And the women and the men that I surround myself are very awesome. So this book is a book of awesomeness. Okay, so this book here is special. This is like work. And I call it my wealth homework. So this book here is dedicated to the work that I do to transform my mind from a needy, I want, I hope, I wish. Repetition is the foundation of learning. That's why when you're in kindergarten, they make you repeat the alphabet 100 times, or is it preschool? You got to learn to count over and over again. So if you see in this book, what I do is I write a series of wealth affirmations. I know it's backwards, and I write it over and over again, 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 till I keep writing that until it sinks into my consciousness. Hey, Rossi. So this book is my wealth homework. So it looks like a school book. I took it from my son. I bought too many books, but it's homework, because if I want to build, change my consciousness around wealth, it's going to take repetition. Because, if y'all don't know my story, I grew up in abject poverty in a developing nation. I never saw a bathtub in a house until I was 6 years old. I never really took a bath inside until I was 6 years old. I brushed my teeth some days with a piece of stick and salt because we didn't have toothbrushes or toothpaste. So I grew up in poverty. And when you grow up in poverty, you're raised by broke-minded people, and your whole psyche is all about poverty. And how do I move from that to where I am today? That took breaking up that birth to 7 teaching of poverty mindedness. So this book here, it's purple, because purple is the highest vibration color. And this book here is really dedicated to breaking up the poverty mindset. So if you see it, I write this same thing over and over again. Oh, look at this. Over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. I keep writing it. It's almost like a punish assignment, but it's a wealth assignment. I write this over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. The same thing, over and over again. What's up, Dave? What's up? What's up? So if you want to break up some negative thinking around your money, you really have to, I'm only going to tell you what I do. I write it down over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. As an educator, I can tell you this. You have to put it in your brain. You have to put it in your brain over and over again, and it has to become part of you. And you have to trick your mind, because if you grew up in poverty, if you grew up, in abject poverty like I did from birth to almost 6, and you were raised by impoverished people with impoverished mindset, read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I mean, it tells you if you raise around rich people, you could be dumb as hell. You could be dumb as a doorknob. But chances are you end up being richer than that person who grew up in poverty, and they have a broke mindset because they inherited that from their family. You learn that. Go read Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And for some of you who don't know, when I lived in Arizona, I spent quite a lot of time with Robert Kiyosaki's studio in Scottsdale, Arizona. I met him personally. He gave me a book. He dedicated to me and my children. And he's a smart man. I really, 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 really love Robert Kiyosaki, and I love his book. So read that book. And I have this one to show you. This one is called Beautiful. This journal is dedicated to me and being happy. Thank you. And celebrating beauty in every way. So this is my beauty journal. And so I dedicated that to myself and really looking at life beautifully, because if I want beautiful things to come into my life, I have to embody beauty. And beauty is not, on the outside, because there are a lot of pretty people that don't feel they're pretty. Like even in my case, I grew up with no one really told me I was pretty. I mean, no one did. And I didn't really grow up thinking like I was dropped down. I mean, a little conceited, yeah, but that's not beauty. Beauty is something that comes from inside. So this journal here is dedicated to my growth in beauty and so forth. So ladies and gents, let's recap. 3 things to say. 3 things, not 4. 3 things to stop saying if you want more abundance and more good stuff in your life. Don't say I hope. I hope says you don't believe it and it ain't gonna happen. Okay, never say I need, because needy is creepy. You were born abundant. You were born with everything you need. It's your consciousness that blocks you from everything that you don't have, or you perceive that you don't have. If you think you don't have it, then you don't have it. If you think you have it, then you will. And the other thing is I want. What do you mean you want? What is it that you want? You shouldn't want anything. You should align with those things that you want to have, so that I have this. So you always say I have, or you never say I can't, because if I said I can't, I don't think I'll be on this Facebook Live having anything to say to you, because the cards that I was dealt in my life guaranteed that I wasn't going to have anything. I mean, what was the life expectancy for a little girl growing up in a third world country, a little muddy village with very little educational opportunity or, advancement? What were my life chances? Slim to none. But, because of vision, the vision of my mother for a better life, come to United States and make the best of it. But a lot of that had to do with breaking up the teaching that I got as a child of what I could do. Like, people didn't really push girls, and sometimes even today there's a big push to support girls. But I know even in my profession as a college professor, I'm usually the only one. I'm usually the only, the triple threat, black, female, I don't know, foreigner, whatever. I don't know. I'm usually like the token in the crew. Usually when I walk in the room, I am the only person of color or the only female or female of color or whatever in the room. And so I know how that feels, but I think, for me personally, saying that if I believed that I couldn't do this, then I wouldn't. And what it has done for me, is to plant seeds for my children. So they see what I do and they see who I am and they emulate that. So like my son, he learns effortlessly. His average went up. The refrigerator over there is full of honor roll and certificate. He has the recognition for reading, the science product, another reading, another honor roll, so forth. So, he sees me study all day. He sees me in these books, book after book, book after book. Every day I'm in the book. Every single day I'm creating, I'm writing. Every day. I don't have to tell that child to study. He sees me studying and he's like, okay, I guess that's what goes on in this house. So, and he happens to be kind of smart. So, I had him lecturing in utero. So he was on campus with me before he was even born. And when you're in that kind of environment, it only guarantees that you have a better chance. But there are things that I don't allow him to say. I don't allow him to say, I can't, I wish, I hope, I want. I tell him who he is, and he knows who he is. And he knows where his strengths come from. He knows where his power, where his essence comes from. He knows where his gifts come from. And so he's very strong in that. So ladies and gents, I'm going to get off this live now because it's kind of late. But get you a notebook. And if you want to know what I'm writing in here, you got to link me. I'll teach you. And I'll teach you where all of this come from. If you want to have more money in your life, more wealth, more abundance, you got to break up some stinking thinking in your head by repetition. And the reason why I write it down and I write it in purple is because purple is a high vibrational color. And also you have to think, you're taking something from the unseen consciousness and it's going down your arm to your pen, through your fingers, on the paper. So it's coming from the unconscious world to this two-dimensional world, lines, 2 dimensions here, there. And so when you can get something from the unseen onto a paper into 2 dimension, it's not going to be long before it ends up on the 3rd dimension that it will manifest in your life. And it's a practice. And just the same way people, yes, it is. You like that purple too. So, just the same way, that's the same way anything is created. First it's created in consciousness, and then you take it from here and you put that energy into the pen and it rolls out on that ink and it soaks into that paper and it becomes real. So if you really, really want to change, if you want to take things that are in your head and manifest them on the 3rd dimension, you have to write it down. And you can't just write it down once. This is like my 3rd book that I've been writing this stuff down. And it's part of my spiritual practice, is really to move things from my consciousness to the 2nd dimension, to the 3rd dimension, to manifestation. So there's a process. So you don't have to go around hoping and wishing you hit the lotto to make money. You can be more precise by intention. What is your intention? What do you want? Write it down. We have that Bible scripture, y'all know the scripture, write it down, make it plain so people can run with it. Write it down. Use some of that Bible stuff. Y'all Bible scholars, I grew up Catholic. I don't even know I didn't get a Bible in my hand till 1994 when I accepted Christ. But, I'm not a Bible scholar, but everything that I need to know about the Bible, the Holy Ghost teach me, so I'm cool. I read it. It was okay. It was kind of hard. Fell asleep. Get you a notebook, a pretty notebook, a notebook of awesomeness, and start writing some stuff down. Stop wasting time doing foolishness. Oh, I like this one too. I meant to show you this one. This one is really sparkly. I like this one. And this one here, I can't tell you what's in that one. That's kind of private. So I have a bunch of notebooks, and this is not even all of them. This is just a few that I found. I have some packed away, and I carry these things with me almost everywhere I go. And sometimes when I'm packing to go away, I have a suitcase that's just my journals. You know, I have one from my Peru experience. So when I'm ready to share Peru with you, I'll let you know. Because every time I think about Peru, I just start crying. And I just don't want to cry on this live, because I'm not ready to be crying on the live. But every time I think about what I went through, it makes me tear up, because there's so much emotion. And I'll say this and I'll end. If you're on a spiritual path, you have to be physically fit. There's no way in hell. Stop it. There's no way in H you're going to be able to withstand the type of experiences that are required of people who are going on a spiritual quest. Like, for example, I went to Bali. I got into that water temple. That water was brick. It was hot outside, but that water was brick. And it entails being able to climb in that thing, stay in this brick cold water for however long it took. And I was in there for a good long time, at least 45 minutes, cleansing in that water fountain. And then you have to make sure you don't fall, because there's all this moss and mildew on the bottom, and it's like all icky on the bottom. And you have to have the energy and the strength to climb in and climb out. When I went to Peru, my stamina, my I don't know, my whole physical was challenged with just trying to keep up. The altitude was so high, I couldn't breathe. You know, my stomach was sick all the time. My head was hurting, but I had to go through all of that hard stuff for my healing, for my, spiritual awakening. And I want to share that with you, but I want to calm down a little bit from it so I don't just cry through the whole thing, because it's just like life-changing. And Rossi, if you won't believe what I've been through, you won't believe. I got to tell you privately what I saw and who spoke to me in my visions. Oh my God, it's just like, I just want to cry. But if you're on a spiritual journey, you have to take care of your body. So, if y'all hear me talk about my health and so forth, because without health, you have nothing. There's no point in wanting a whole bunch of money if you sick, or if you something wrong with you, or you got a bag full of pills, or something going on and your health is compromised. I say it this way, God ain't sick. So if I'm God, why am I sick? If God ain't sick, why you sick? You sick because your thoughts tell you because you're sick. And if your thoughts can tell you you're sick, your thoughts can tell you you're well. You cannot go on a spiritual journey if you're not physically fit, because it's going to take every single thing out of you. Everything. It will wring you out dry and toss you and say you had enough. And usually the answer is no. Well, you go back again because you're like, oh God, I need to feel that again. But because of what I'm doing, my body has to stay fit. So I can't be having a bag of pills. I can't be tied to some respirator, some asthma pump, something. So I'm cleaning up my life, my universe, my personal space, my body first, and then the immediate environment around me. I'm very careful about. I did. And you won't believe what he told me. But you got to call me. You have my number, Rossi. You got to call me, and I'll tell you in private before I say it in public, because it's just going to make me cry. So, my goal is to clean up my personal environment, which is my body, and also my external environment, which is out here. I mean, if you think about how many chemicals that you put on your body or in your body, or you surround yourself each day, it's no wonder people are dying with cancer and this and that and all these respiratory diseases. There's no wonder. So the only one that can control that is you. And if you want to learn more about what I'm doing, in addition to how I change my mind about the crazy programming that my broke, poor family put in my head from birth to 7. In addition to that, I can teach you some other things because I am a teacher. So give me a call, 914-517-3474. Send me a text with your name and say, send me more info, send me the link, and I'll do that for you. Y'all got the notes. You took notes, hopefully. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. 90-day challenge. This is Dr. B on the beach. And I'm always on the beach, even I'm not on the beach. See my pineapples? All fruity, my papaya, my watermelon. So, Dr. B out. Mwah.